Hello Zamir community, we hope that you're doing well. As you can see, there is a slight change in our platforms. This is because we have rebranded and changed from this logo to this logo. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments. Hello, welcome back to Zamir Consult, where owning real estate has been made easy. On this video, we will be showing you the best future-proof real estate investment. This investment has a track record of being a lot more secure in the long term and with potential for big profits. This investment is none other than land. It is something that a lot of investors never take the time to look into, and that is why we have decided to look into it today. So stay tuned. The following are the reasons why land is the best time-proof investment. The first reason why land is the best time-proof investment is because it gains value better than buildings. To begin with, land has a few advantages that buildings cannot match. To begin with, the value of land increases more over time. For instance, let us look at a few numbers. Back in the year 2010, you could buy an apartment in Nairobi, Kilimani area, and you could rent it out and start to put the rent money back into the bank. The amount you would make since that time would depend on some variables like maintenance, costs, taxes, and renovations. This would mean that a return of 50 to 60% over 10 years. Even if you added a 13% in the increase, we would still end up with 63 to 73% net return on the investment. What if you used the money to buy land and wait 10 years to sell it? Looking at the change in land prices over the same period, you could have expected an increase in value somewhere between 80 to 120%, especially if you invested on land in Nairobi and its environs. And that is just the amount the land increased by. You do not have to rent it out. The second reason why land is the best future-proof real estate investment is that demand is going up and supply remains the same. Maybe you wonder why the price of land keeps on going up. Well, you do not have to be an economic genius to figure this one out, and I will tell you why. The world's population is steadily going up by a little over 1% a year, and it is probably going to keep on rising until the year 2100. All the extra people in the world are going to need a space to live, work, and create. That is going to use up more land, and therefore, demand for it is going to stay on the upswing for quite some time to come. In terms of supply, you can build more story buildings, but you cannot build more land. In other words, supply of land is staying more or less the same. Putting it all together, here, two things are involved. That is rising demand and limited supply. And this means one thing, which is rising prices. The third reason why land is the best time-proof investment is because it is easier to predict than other asset classes. So what makes land such a good long-term asset? When it comes to investing, nothing is certain. But let's just say that land is about as certain as you can get. Let's compare that to stocks, now that technology is changing and becoming more and more obsolete. It is harder than ever to say what is going to be making big waves in a few years' time. If you had invested in Amazon 20 years ago, right now you would be rolling in money. But now, trying to figure out what is going to be the next Amazon is proving to be more difficult. But if there is anything that we can be sure of, is that land is not going to become obsolete. Sure, if you would have invested in Amazon or Tesla, you would have made a lot more money than you would have with land. But any stock comes with a big risk, and land offers low risks but comes with great opportunities for profits. The fourth reason why land is the best time-proof investment is that it has low maintenance. So we've just talked about how much good land goes up in value without having to go through the hustle of maintaining it. Let's compare it with owning an apartment or a house. If you own an apartment and take rent from the tenant, there will be all kinds of things you have to take care of. For instance, maintenance, leaks, bugs, and garbage. That is more time, effort, and money, and you also have to hope that your tenant will take good care of your place and that he pays on time. But when it comes to vacant land, with no buildings on top of it, you do not need to do anything. You can just sit back and let the market do its work and watch the value of your land go up. The fifth reason why land is the best time-proof investment is that the profits could be huge if you pick the right area. Now we know that things are starting to sound too good to be true. And yes, things could go wrong when you're investing with land, and this is why you need to do your homework. You would need to look into things like the type of activities that the land could be used for, whether there are limitations or zoning restrictions on it which are going to stop it from going up in value, for instance in an area where no construction is allowed. Or is it on the mountainside, which is impossible to build anything on, or in the flood zone? The good news is that you can find answers to all these questions here at Zamir Consults. We have property valuers, surveyors, planners, and real estate consultants who can help you check everything out. The team will do your homework for you and find areas where the city is probably going to expand to in the next few years. If you get the right combination of factors, such as an area with no zoning restrictions, a population which is getting bigger, and a strong local economy, you could be talking serious profits when you sell it in a few years down the line. And the sixth reason why land is the best time-proof investment is that agricultural land is a great investment. It is the same principle as before. The world's population is getting bigger and bigger, which means more mouths to feed and more land needed to produce the food. The agricultural land could be farming crops, pastures, or wooded areas for timber. In Kenya, over the past 10 years, prices for these types of land parcels have risen to between 65 and 75%. The seventh reason why land is the best time-proof investment is that you can make money from it before selling it. So you've got yourself a piece of prime land and you want to sit on it and wait for it to go up in value. To wait for that to pay off, you will have to wait until you sell it to a developer. However, there are ways in which landowners can make money before they sell land. Some of these need modification and input, while others hardly need any, or even none at all. On the higher maintenance scale, if you are in an area that draws in tourists, you could turn it into a camping ground. On the other hand, if it is near an urban area, you can turn it into a garden for letting, or turn it into a farmland, or set up billboards on it and make money from advertising. The eighth reason why land is the best time-proof investment is that it has low barriers of entry. Another problem with investing in buildings is that it is expensive. Even with a mortgage, you would still have to put in a big deposit for it. And if you want to develop it in order to flip it, that will push the costs up even more. This is why vacant land is a big bonus. You can get into the land market for lower sums, sometimes sums that go even as low as 100,000. On top of that, taxes are a fraction of what they are for buildings. It also has less paperwork, which means fewer lawyer fees than buying or selling of a building property. And the ninth reason why land is the best time-proof investment is that buyer competition is low. It is a fact that a lot of investors ignore vacant land as an investment opportunity. What does it mean? This means less competition. When it comes to buyers, if you were looking to buy a house or an apartment and you found the perfect property to turn into an investment, then chances are that a lot of other people have spotted it too, and it is likely that one of them is going to outbid you. However, when it comes to vacant land, there are far fewer people out there looking to invest. So when you find the right piece of land, there is much better chance that your bid is going to be successful. The last reason why land is the best time-proof investment is that land has fewer inspections. Compared to buying an apartment, you will require very few property site visits. So the question is now, where in Kenya are you most likely to invest in land and why? Please tell us in the comments. In conclusion, the best place to invest in land is areas which will benefit from global warming. Climate change is becoming more of a reality, and as we know, the ethics behind it are sketchy at best. As climate change impacts weather patterns, some areas of land will become more valuable, especially farmland in temperate zones. And for investors who can spot which areas of farmland are going to go up in value, there will be big profits to be made. We hope that you learned a lot today, and if you did, please do not forget to like, share, and leave a comment down below. And finally, do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.